1 second.
Yeah, but there will be Q&A after this message.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
Can somebody
my
just
brother.
sit with the chair here? And
Count. Q&A, I'll come to you. Count. Mulo.
Okay. All right. No, thanks.
Q&A, I'll come to you.
Okay, sure.
Depending on who's asking the question.
Yeah.
Okay, so, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. CIC, probably your reaction on the passing of former President of Zimbabwe, Mugabe.
Well, we want to send our heartfelt condolences, revolutionary condolences to our martyr, the people's hero, President Robert Mugabe. We say to the people of Zimbabwe, you are not alone, we are with you. We feel your pain because he was not just a country's hero, he was a continental hero. He's the man who inspired confidence in the African Revolution. We really are sorry about what happened to President Mugabe. He played his role and he inspired a lot of confidence throughout the continent and the diaspora. Many people who engaged in the revolution against imperialism and colonialism were amongst many other people inspired by President Mugabe. Fellow Africans, that generation is living now. We owe it to them to continue the good fight, the fight for the economic emancipation of the continent. We owe it to them to protect their legacy, because it is that legacy of this generation, the Julius generation, the Nelson Mandela generation, the Robert Mugabe generation, which must inspire many generations to come. We are incomplete without President Mugabe. Let us celebrate him as a hero. Let us not allow the enemies of our revolution to tell us who Robert Mugabe was. Only us can tell them who Robert Mugabe was. And Robert Mugabe was a revolutionary fighter. Robert Mugabe was a hero. Robert Mugabe is a martyr. Robert Mugabe is a fearless fighter for the land of the people of Zimbabwe and the entire continent of Africa. Rest in peace, President Mugabe.
And maybe your reaction on the sentiment that he was a hero turned villain.
He has never been a villain. President Mugabe called elections after elections. The Zimbabwean people elected him as the president of Zimbabwe. Who are we to choose leaders for the people of Zimbabwe? When they realized that President Mugabe has stayed for long, they themselves removed him. Like we've always said, the solution to the problem of Zimbabwe will come from the Zimbabweans themselves, and they did ultimately provided that solution. And we're happy that President Mugabe did not leave office of the president through a coffin. He left and went on retirement.
Well, clearly you are happy with this track record, but some people would say, particularly even those who are living in Zimbabwe, would say this is the same man under whom young people were trained by the North Korean dictator, and those were some of the young people who killed innocent people, including women and children, in Matabeleland. And that, they would say, is a blight on his legacy. Do you not think that perhaps is worth highlighting?
It is worth highlighting, but it doesn't make him of a less hero. President Mugabe is a perfect human being. What makes a perfect human being is mistakes. We all are going to commit mistakes, especially when you're engaged in a revolution. Sometimes matters are complex, and the solutions that you are providing may not be sustainable solution or acceptable solutions when history is giving an account of what transpired in the past. But we don't know what necessitated such conditions, and we may not want to justify especially the killing of the Matabele people, the young people and the women. But having said that, it doesn't make you a lesser a hero because of the mistakes you have committed during the course of conducting the revolution.
Do you therefore think, because some people will agree, I'm sure a lot of people will agree with you, that in terms of the liberation role that he played, indeed, that was superb. But would you say that he was a great and fantastic president?
He was, till to the grave. He remains a hero of our people. President Mugabe will be remembered as a hero because even when he was in office, he never compromised fundamentals. Amongst those fundamentals was the ownership of the land. President Mugabe, it was under him that the indigenous people of Zimbabwe were beginning to own strategic sectors of the economy. And of course, the imperialist forces, the colonialists, will not easily give up their privilege. They were going to fight as expected. They fought, and that's why we see Zimbabwe being in a situation it is now. It is because they are refusing a total overhaul of what used to be a colonial economy to be a democratic economy.
But Mr. Malema, I'm sure you will know that some people, particularly Zimbabweans who are here in South Africa and those in the diaspora, will disagree with you that they lived under Mugabe, who ruled by fiat, ruled by terror, and they personally experienced his terror, which they would say you possibly don't have appreciation and understanding of.
It is for them to tell that story, and we cannot dispute that story. But it is the same Zimbabweans who elected ZANU-PF not so long ago, and President Mugabe would have perhaps done those things under the banner of the ZANU-PF. The people of Zimbabwe have said, of course, even if President Mugabe is no longer there, we still have confidence in a party that he has led for so many years. What does that say to you? It means President Mugabe and his party still enjoyed popularity in Zimbabwe. You can say whatever you want to say about the election outcome, but ultimately we all have accepted that this is what it is for the people of Zimbabwe. Everyone should give their own account and interpretation of Mugabe's leadership style. For us in the EFF and for many in South Africa, he remains an inspiration, particularly those of us who are involved in a revolution.
Final one from my side. When you say the people of Zimbabwe continue to vote for Mr. Mugabe, do you therefore don't believe that in the process Mr. Mugabe rigged the elections, especially when Morgan Tsvangirai won the first round, and when they had to go for the second round, he pulled out because at that time people in his constituencies were being killed and there was fear. And as a result, people were saying, this can't be free and fair.
Of course, everyone agrees that Morgan Tsvangirai got the majority, but didn't win the elections because you had to meet a particular percentage required by the Constitution. So the elections were not won through simple majority at that time when they contested each other. It is no dispute that Morgan Tsvangirai won, got the majority, but did not meet the threshold. And hence the intervention which led to the government of national unity. That was done precisely because he did not meet the threshold and there was violence in Zimbabwe. A solution had to be found. That solution was found, and that solution is what kept Zimbabwe to be what it is today. We still have a country today. We almost lost the country at that time. So it is not in dispute. President Mugabe doesn't dispute the fact that Tsvangirai got more votes than him at that time. But Tsvangirai did not meet the constitutional threshold. And therefore, as a constitutionalist, don't hang on simplicity of numbers without taking into consideration what was required by the Constitution at the time. Intervention was made. Tsvangirai accepted a government of national unity, served as a prime minister of that government of national unity so that their country can be intact and can realize real freedom in the near future. So we still have a Zimbabwe today. Who am I? Who are you to question that if Tsvangirai himself accepted that the stalemate requires a government of national unity? Zimbabweans found a solution to what you thought was a problem.
I'm sorry, I know I said that was a final
Yeah.
question, but a quick one.
Sure.
What lessons for South Africa do you think should be drawn out of Mugabe's presidency and legacy, especially when you hear people who are Zimbabweans but are living here saying they want to caution us not to do things the same way Mugabe did?
Well, it's not only Zimbabweans who are living here. We've got English people who are living here. There's no Mugabe where they come from. We've got the Dutch people living here. There's no Mugabe where they come from. People came here because, firstly, of the strategic location of this country. Secondly, because there are minerals here. Thirdly, because there are different opportunities for all types of people. So to create an impression that people come to South Africa because they are running away from Mugabe, it is actually incorrect. People come here for economic opportunities. All of us accept that there are challenges in Zimbabwe. The same way there are challenges in many other African countries. Hence, you see our fellow brothers and sisters here in South Africa to look for opportunities. So, when Zimbabwe is going through a rough time because imperialist forces can't accept democratic policies when it comes to unbundling the economy, they did what they did to Zimbabwe, and Zimbabweans find themselves here. What can we learn from Mugabe? We must remain loyal to our own policies and decisions. We must not be wishy-washy. We must not change positions as we go because of political expediency. We must remain principled until the grave. History will absolve Robert Mugabe.
I'm happy, folks.
Very happy. Thank you.
Relevant.
Thank you.